Yeah. We get lit, we get fly, we get drunk, we get high to the masses. We are podcast called Verified. I'm your host. I am JopauL. We are brought to you by Radio Pushes and Results in No Hype. We are also brought to you by Major Papers. MajorPapers.com. The most organic rolling paper on the market, owned and operated by veterans. Go and visit MajorPapers.com and get a 20-pack right now for $20. Save yourself $20. Want to talk about hustling? We're with the right person to talk about hustling. So, how can I bring in my next guest? I guess I could say from the racket to the ratchet to the crack den to being America's first Superfly verified Mac man. We got the boss of all bosses, Freeway Rick Ross. He's so good that 2 rappers had to steal his name. Not even just
4.
Oh, 4. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna be educated on the other 2, but the ones I'm talking about obviously are the most notable. But he has a story that really puts him as a staple in American history. I know that's a big like statue to like, to stand on. But when we go through this man's story, you're gonna see that he's the real deal. Basically, kind of changed the shape of America, if you want to really, call a spade a spade. But without further ado, the real Freeway Rick Ross. Thank you so much for taking your time out to be here, my brother. How's everything?
Everything's wonderful. Thank you for having me. Sorry I'm late too.
Listen, it's all good. Listen, we're used to waiting around for drug dealers to show up. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna stay until they show up. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get that product. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get that fix, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now we try to do it on time. We trying to be like Domino's, and have it to you in less than 30 minutes.
I hear you. Well, I appreciate it. It's no problem at all. I was just, smoking on my joint, so I was relaxing, having a good time. So, yeah. So
it looked like you was too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night right now on the East Coast. So, I've been getting lit for a couple hours now. So, after dinner, break out the jack, roll up J's. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I did. I mean, that's the beauty of this podcast. It's not like, your typical podcast where it's like, very, I don't know, corporate like, and, seasoned and by the book. So anything goes. So, you want to pop a bottle of wine. I mean, I don't know if you smoke cigars or whatnot. Listen, you have free reign to do whatever you want. So
it's all good. It's all good. I hope you rolling up in that thing, that LA Kingpin, or either that Freeway. We killing it out here on the West Coast right now with my brands.
We gonna talk about it. We gonna definitely talk about it. I mean, one, it's such a great name and so fitting, for you, LA Kingpin, because that's really who you were. You know what I'm saying? So there's a story besides just the actual name of it, to try to catch a trendy vibe, which, that's what a lot of these youngsters are doing nowadays. So I'm glad that I have a chance to chop it up with you so we can kind of, put some respect on the real game, on how, it should be played. There's certain, loyalty, respect, morals. Even in, whatever game or business you're in, those traits still ring true. So we want to keep it as authentic as possible. So salute to all of your achievements, especially with everything that you've been through. So let's dive right into it.
Let's go.
So the real Freeway Rick Ross. So talk to me about how you grew up. Okay, I know that you moved to South Central when you were around 5 years old. So talk to me about the relationship you had with your mother, with your father, if you had a relationship, with him.
No, I never knew my dad.
Okay.
My mom and my dad split up when I was 4 months old. So I never really met him. And then, my mom had issues with him. So I had issues with him too.
Understandable.
Oh, you got issues with mom? I got issues with you. So that's how it was with me. Mom's is right, always right.
Absolutely.
When I look back at my life, I can't remember one time she lied to me. So she was always right. So when she had issues with dad, I had issues with dad. I met my dad though when I got out of prison in 93. I got out for a couple months, and I had a chance to meet up with him, and we kind of vibed a little bit, for a few days, But Mom's, that was my girl. My mom was, she was amazing. She was an amazing woman. Not the entrepreneur that I wish she would have been, because at heart I'm like entrepreneur. It runs through my blood. Mm-hmm. She used to tell all my friends, "You cut his head open, you ain't gonna see number dollar bills."
There you go. She's probably right. I mean, you got to. But I'm sure you understand, because of the time period and the social and economic challenges that a single woman faces while raising a child. I mean, I know you
and a boy.
Right. Exactly. So it's like you got to understand that there's certain restrictions that she wouldn't have been able to really accomplish, if she didn't raise you the way that she did. Like she wanted to be able to probably keep a close eye on you, and not let you fall victim to the streets, or anything like that.
Absolutely.
So salute to your moms. I saw a lot of interviews where you really praise her, and it's cool to praise our moms and our parents. So it's like I hate when people like nah, forget about it, mom, forget about it. Nah, it's like show them some love. They brought you into this world. They could probably take you out of this world.
No doubt.
So you're a single mom. You have any brothers or sisters? And I know you do. I just want to, be able.
When we moved to LA, I only had one brother at that time. It was just me and my mom and him. And my mom left him in Texas when we moved out here. He stayed with my dad for a period of time. So it was really just me and my mom for a little while. And as we got adjusted to California, California was different for me. Where we stayed at in Texas, there was no houses for maybe 10 miles. And here in California, had neighbors on top of neighbors. So it was a lot different.
So you went from like the real, like suburbs basically, or like the country.
Country, trees, hogs, chickens, cows, horses.
Ku Klux Klan meetings and moonshine and all that stuff.
Well, it was in Texas, so you already know. They had black and white bathrooms and black and white water fountains and all that. Texas was the last place where the slaves found out that slavery was over. So that's how Texas was.
Yeah, so some of them still think that it still exists. I mean, in Texas, it get hectic. You know what I'm saying? So, but listen, salute to everyone in Texas. Just in case I come there, I don't need to get shot like a couple of other people that just, I don't want no beef with nobody. I want to love and smoke.
They've been doing a lot of shooting in Texas lately too. So
it's crazy. It's like not from Houston.
I think like two or three rappers.
Right.
Two or three rappers got shot down there.
It's like Shoot a Lot records down there now. It is a little crazy. I mean, I think that, I don't really want to speak on it because I don't know too much about the details of it. But the one thing I can say is that this pandemic has literally brought the best and worst out of people. So, and people are frustrated. Their revenue streams have been cut. Their lives have been changed and altered. We've never been as divided, so you've experienced, a bunch of different administrations, with the presidents and some close personal relationships, which we'll get to. Have you ever seen, besides, the civil rights movement, have you ever seen this division within our nation?
Never. It's scary. When you think about it, that what's going on right now is really threatening the whole democratic process that we've been living by, which in actuality gives us our freedom.
Exactly. I mean, your vote would not be so valuable if they were not trying to steal it from you. So just remember that next time you say, no, I ain't going to vote. And not to mention that after you have done time and you have an F on your record, they don't allow you to vote, or at least I don't know of any changes that have been made where it allows a felony to vote.
Yeah. Now you can vote if you're out of jail for so many years and you're off parole and all that. So I voted this year for the first time in my life.
Hey, congratulations! I hope
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
I hope you
So
voted for the right one. I mean, based on your
I
ideology,
voted to get Donald Trump out of there at all costs.
I love you, man. I love you. I was part of
Matter,
I was part of a voting movement called the hashtag I am the vote movement, which was started from some of the hip hop icons, that ran, the hip hop industry during the golden era. So like Rob Love, Maria Davis, and everyone was involved in this. So if you ever saw like a hashtag I am the vote, that was the movement, of getting people kind of aware that, listen, you're not casting a vote is almost like you're voting for Donald Trump. So, and I don't want to get political.
or if you voted independent.
Exactly. Or if you voted for Kanye.
I I had a few people who was like, oh, well, I ain't voting for neither one of them. I don't like Donald Trump, but I ain't voting for Biden either. I'm gonna vote for Kanye. And I was like, well, you just cast a vote for Donald Trump, technically.
Basically. Yeah, and it's disrespecting Kamala Harris. It's like we got the first colored woman of immigrant descent that is holding the highest office besides the actual presidency. I mean, it's a truly historic. 2020 has been a crazy fucking year.
Without question. Who would ever
Um,
thought when this pandemic hit that we would be 260 some thousand people dead? Sad,
it's
really
crazy.
sad. And when you think that we could have saved all those lives.
It's going to get worse. I mean, I'm very, very in tune with everything that goes on, and I watch the correct news stations that actually report the correct news, not the not the propaganda media fucking bullshit that that has brainwashed an entire like 80 million people of his supporters with their ideologies. So we need a different podcast for this conversation. But
no doubt.
But to make
we'll do it. But I really enjoy talking about these things because I was ahead on this movement. I went public, I think, in February and told everybody to get prepared that this thing was going to be a lot worse than what we thought. Because I knew without a shadow of a doubt that if it was in China, that it was eventually going to be over here with us. So I enjoy talking about it. But we can go ahead. Let's go ahead and do your interview.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we can talk about whatever you want. I mean, like this is
No, I'm good. I'm good. I ain't gonna take over your interview. I have done that before, but I ain't gonna do it today.
If anyone is allowed to take over my interview, the real boss, Freeway Rick Ross, is certainly allowed to. So, so the floor is yours, my brother. What would you like to ask me? You can interview me.
No. We're gonna go ahead and do your interview. This your time.
All right, so let's dive back into it. So we were talking about how your mother moved you from Texas over to South Central, and now I was reading a whole bunch about your story, and I like there was a couple of times that I almost like quivered, for you, because it's like to experience some of the things that you've experienced, it would have driven a lot of people insane. Like that, like it has the. I mean, I've been watching a lot of these forensic shows, so they say it's the makings of like a serial killer, with the stuff that you've been through. So I'm glad to see that you were only like one of the biggest drug kingpins instead of a serial killer. That's
well, I tell my friends sometimes that there's a lot of times when stuff happened in the game, and my friends used to be like, "Oh man, let's just go take care of them." And when I look back at my life, if I would have took care of all the people that they wanted to take care of, I'd probably be on the top of the list for serial killers.
Well, it's a good thing you did, and I appreciate your outlook on when the right time to retaliate is and when the right time to not is. And I love the principle that you stand by, that like never lend what you can't afford to lose, or never front out what you can't afford to lose. And
absolutely,
and understand that there's a certain price of the game that you're going to pay no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you get in this game, you're going to get robbed, you're going to get cheated, you're going to get ratted on, and ultimately you will go to jail,
by one of your friends
or your family. I mean,
or your
it's a
family.
yeah, it's a dirty game. Listen, when you're faced with, you know, life behind those steel bars, there's no telling, you know, well, it's all telling, really, you know, from you know, so anyone that can tell is going to tell. But so
Yeah, well, you know, it takes pressure to really find out who people really are. You know, some people will be tough guy and you know, gangster killer, and then when he's faced with that time, you know, all
saying
that
like
changed.
bird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it also depends on the individual situation, but you know, but the street code is you never tell. And right now, that law seems to have been broken by so many people. I feel like they don't even know what the code is anymore. So it's like when I see a lot of these, you know, rappers that you know, I've been in the game a long time. I've been in the hip hop industry since 1996. So it's like I've seen, you know, from the glory years to, you know, to now. And when I see a lot of the
Tell mommy I need a battery.
and when I see a lot of these rappers nowadays that, you know, talking all that rah rah, you know, but I can see it in their eye. I'm like, if you got caught tomorrow, you would tell on everyone in your team, you would tell on everyone in your family, whatever
But
you would do. See the
but they
light
got
of
to
day.
do something to get caught. You know, they're not doing nothing to get caught, so they're not gonna get caught.
I mean, a lot of them are, you know, are flashing automatic weapons, you know, in their videos that some are not bought from Toys R Us. I mean, even though Toys R Us is out of business, you know, but I mean, you see it out there, you know. I mean,
And they throw
and
that money be fake.
some of
A
it,
lot
yeah.
of that money
You
be
know, I
fake.
mean, I wouldn't bring no real money unless I'm Floyd Mayweather. You know, like I'm not bringing a duffel bag of money anywhere. You know, even
Huh.
him, I wonder why he does that. But I'm sure he has like 30 people around him, you know, all strapped, you know, ready to go, ready to take anybody out, you know, that would do that. So I bring all of this up because you had to witness your mom killing your uncle,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and I don't want to get like, you know, too deep into it. I just want to talk about what that did to you mentally, you know,
Well,
in
my uncle had become my male figure. You know, we lived with my uncle and his wife, so he was not just an uncle, but he was almost like a father figure as well.
so standing
You know,
dead.
yeah, yeah. So it was painful to lose my uncle, and not only that, but you know, they took my mom to jail. My
Ouch.
mom went to yeah, she went to jail that night. So here I was in a new city, uh, almost by myself,
And how old were you when that happened?
about 5.
Jeez. Yeah, it's lucky you did not become
And
a
you know,
killer.
I look back because you know when and that was during the time that I should have been learning my ABCs, and you know I never really learned my ABCs, and that's why I couldn't read because I didn't understand the functions of ABCs uh, until I got to prison. So after I went to prison, I've been fighting with the possibility of my mom killing my uncle and going to jail. Could that have had an effect on my inability to read and write the way that I needed to?
I mean, I would say so. I mean, there's nothing like, you know, coming home from school, you know, and you know, being able to draw the ABCs, you know, with your mom or your father, you know, and them showing you the correct ways, and you know, after school to do your homework for, you know. So if she's not there because she's possibly facing a bid because she, you know, had to kill your uncle in self-defense, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
what about little Ricky? You know, so but it's amazing that you were able to, you know, educate yourself, you know, and teach yourself how to read and write, you know. And
Well,
I
that was
mean,
just in prison. I was 28 when that took place.
listen, the fact that you did it at all, I mean, at that point you were already making money, so it's like, what did you care as long as you know how to do simple math, you know, and use a calculator and a money machine? It's like, you know, I need to better myself, so I got time, I might as well use it. So
But
I
you
was
know what? That's true. But what I also noticed is that not being able to read limits your opportunities. You know, your opportunities is more limited than when uh, you know, can read and fill out an application. Like,
right. I was reading the story that you were a very accomplished like tennis player. That's why in that beginning little rant where I said, you know, from the racket to the ratchet, you know.
I
So
caught it. I caught it. It didn't
I
go
know,
over my
I know
head. It
you.
went over
I
some
know you
people's
was
heads, but
thinking.
hey, but I caught it. I got it.
I respect game right there. So you were a very accomplished, tennis player, which is not really, quote unquote, the cool, thing in the streets where you're from. So the fact that you were able to accomplish that as an athlete, but it also was a hindrance that you couldn't read or write because I heard you were filling out an application to get into like a certain school, and once they found out that, you know, even though he's a great athlete, like it's too much of a risk for us to take on a student
Yeah,
that doesn't have the basic
yeah,
literacy skills.
absolutely. That was kind of like looking at your future, and then your door has just been closed to your future, where you're not gonna have a future, or the future that you had planned for yourself was a mirage. It's not there anymore. So now you have to come up with Plan B because Plan A is done. So
Right?
it was very shocking.
You had plans of being like Arthur Ashe, and and playing like Wimbledon tennis, and all of a sudden now the door's closed, and now it's time to hit the streets.
Yes. Now you take all that practicing and training you did, and you turn it to the streets of South Central LA, and that's pretty much what happened.
That's a bad man right there. Now, the racket. So what? Now, I mean, so I bring up Superfly because one, because I
That's my
respect.
man. I love Superfly.
Oh, I know. Listen, that's why I called you. Like you're America's first real Superfly, verified Mac man. Like when real Macs were called.
Well, why they won't let me do my movie? Why nobody wouldn't help me do my movie?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to call some of the white people and be like, listen, what the fuck you guys doing? You gotta
try Ori Emanuel.
Ori Emanuel. Send me his number. I'll make sure I call. And listen, I will. I will too.
You hit him up.
I'll hit up. Listen, I'll turn from JopauL to Joseph Werner real quick. Yeah, I mean, I ran the finance division for JP Morgan for 10 years. So for the business division. So I have no problem talking to executives. I got no problem talking to street hustlers. I got no problem talking to pimps. I've been around all of them my whole life.
No, you know the people that could finance this thing.
Oh yeah, there was a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about with regards to that. I mean, there's some people that I know that got some people that rob some people, and they can fund it. So
let's talk about them.
Absolutely.
and I need some financing for this weed company too.
I wanted to talk to you about that too.
Okay.
When it comes
I'm gonna let you run the interview, and I'm gonna stop.
We can talk about that now, because when it comes to finance, I'm a street kid, but I'm also a corporate guy. When I left the game for a little while, I was like, I'm 25, 26 years old. I'm living in a 3-bedroom apartment, sharing it with 2 other dudes that I don't even know. I'm driving a piece of shit car. I got to jump in through the driver's side door, the passenger door, in order to get to the driver's seat because the door won't work. And I'm like, what am I doing with myself? And through the luck of a whole bunch of like different interviews and stuff, I was able to get myself a job working for JP Morgan business. Awesome starting salary. Learned the whole bank and how business works and how they look at things. So there's a lot of value that I can add to what you're trying to do, even as just somebody that you need to throw an idea around, because when it comes to different elements of the financing of the actual business, that's something I have just a tiny bit of expertise on. So utilize me for whatever you want. I'm an open book for you.
Great. I need that.
Absolutely. Listen, right? You teach me some of the game, I'll teach you some of the game, and we both win. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yes, sir. So,
each one teach one.
Exactly. And reach a million, hopefully.
Or a couple hundred.
Listen, whoever, as long as they're fucking listening, that's all I care about. I don't want to have to run up to them and shove my dick in the ear so they can hear where I'm coming from. You dig what I'm saying?
Oh no, they ain't gonna get it.
Exactly. Well, they gonna get it if they don't get it. Get it? Good. Good. I'll drink to
that. What you drinking?
Jack Daniels.
Woof.
My favorite friend during the pandemic. Yeah, actually, you know what? I wanted to ask you, mentally, how are you doing right now? You know, you and like your family during this crazy, unprecedented time that we're dealing with. Everybody straight. Everybody cool.
Everybody straight. Everybody straight. We're trying to stand like a little bubble. You know, we have certain friends that we mingle with. Everybody's wearing their masks though. We're practicing the mask. Jordan, bring me one of my masks off the door.
I'm like the mask police over here. You wouldn't believe I live in Staten Island where Wu-Tang is from, and we're considered like a Trump haven. So it's surprising that I have not actually went postal, you know, and ran outside like, because some people, they just don't give a fuck, and they don't get it. Like, I knew how serious it was. I went on lockdown on March 3rd, and I'm in, there we go, LA Kingpins. That's how we do it.
We went on lockdown, I think, in February, the beginning of February. You know, we were paying attention, and we kind of figured that that it was eventually gonna get here, and we didn't want to be one of the first ones to catch it. Because, you know, I was flying a lot, and my last event I did was in Dallas, Texas. I did a seminar on how to get into the cannabis industry.
That shit's like a petri dish in Dallas.
My goodness. So I thought about it, and I was like, wow, what if you was infected? Now you just had an event where you just touched 200 people. So you could have given this to 200 people, which in turn, if each one of them would have gave it to 3 people, that would have been 600. And then the numbers just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. So,
but even at that, you know, 600 number, there's going to be a couple of them whose immune system can't fight this thing. That's the problem with it, that there's some people whose immune system is so compromised that even with some of the therapeutics, you know, minus the vaccine, which is not going to, it's not going to be here for a couple of months. It's not over. You guys still need to follow the fucking rules so we can get back to normal. It's so frustrating that people just don't understand the science, and they're brainwashed by the host of The Apprentice. It's fucking crazy. It's like common sense has went gone. Like gone. I can't. It makes me cry for humanity, for what my parents, you know, helped fight for in the civil rights movement, you know, and all the hippies in the 60s, you know, with, you know, make love and not war, and, you know, and bring people together. It makes my heart like bleed, because this is the world that we live in. This is the Matrix, and we were just exposed to the truth because 80 million people that voted for him share that same ideology, which makes no fucking sense. So,
well, you know, in the 60s, he was trying to sneak into college.
Yeah, facts. Facts. You know, but
he was trying to figure out who was going to take his test. I don't know who's going to take the test. I don't know.
Fucking guy. Oh my God. This is January 20th. Can't come quicker. Like, it's like a circus show. And I'm a little bit tired of it, only because I created this metaphor when I was on my Instagram, that I said, it's like we've all done our work, and now, because of the 4 jerk-offs in the back of the class fooling around, the teacher is keeping us all after the class is done, and we all want to go to the school dance. But now, because these jerk-offs are playing around, none of us can go to the dance. I want to dance. Yeah. I want to get jiggy with it. Like, I mean, so it's like, because people are not following the correct instructions, or they're using my mask, my body, my right. You know, it's like, fuck you, put a mask on. It's like, come on, it's common sense. It's common sense. So anyway, so cocaine. You know something? You know something about cocaine?
A little bit.
Dígame.
A little bit. A little bit. You know, I saw a few grams before.
I heard.
No, let me say this
that.
here. I've saw a few 1,000 grams before.
And probably even more than that. Probably, you know.
Maybe a little more.
Probably in the tonnage, you know. So why cocaine?
Cocaine fell on me.
Okay.
I didn't fall on Planet Rock. It fell on me.
I didn't fall on the crack rock. Crack rock fell on me.
Yeah, I was just going down the street minding my business. I was minding my business. I wouldn't bother nobody. I sit on my mama's porch, not bothering nobody. But now I was looking for opportunity though. I ain't gonna lie and tell you that I wasn't looking for an opportunity, because I was. You know, I wasn't going to college. It had already been situated. I wasn't going to college. My car was broke down. I didn't have no gas to put in it. And I got a phone call. And it was one of my boys. He was like, man, come by. I got the new thing. And when I got there, man, he sprinkled that stuff on the table. And my life has changed ever since.
Did you know what it was as soon as you saw it? Like,
no, because it was yellow.
Like, you know, like if schools taught, you know, drug awareness or anything like that.
No, they don't teach that in school. They should though. It would make sense.
The curriculum is a whole nother podcast that we would need to talk about, because the system is so designed to keep people uninformed, uneducated, just non-practical ideas. But good. So you saw the cocaine on the table. Go ahead.
And my guy told me how great it was. See, nobody ever told me how bad it was. They only told me how great it was. And he started to explain the things that it got, you know, girls, cars. I needed both.
Don't we all? Shit. I need a ride, and I need some pussy to get to that ride.
Some money, clothes, jewelry, house. I was like, damn. Everything you just named, I need all that. And he explained to me.
Check. Sign me up.
Yes, and he showed me how small it was. It was like, you probably don't know what a match is. You're too young to know what a match is. But back in the days, they had a little thing they used to call a match, right? You took it and you swiped it on a piece of paper and it would light up a fire. But it was really, really small. You almost need a magnifying glass to see it. And the rock that I got from him was about that big. And he told me it was worth $50. So I said, the police will never catch me with this. Nobody could catch me with this. And he told me to take it and see what I could do with it. And that's what I did. And my life has forever been changed.
That's an interesting story. So you just did the double up method? You're like, all right, well, I just got rid of this, so now give me two of them.
Well, you know, I got beat out of that first one.
How did you get beat out of the first one? And how did that not kind of tell?
Well, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was.
Or I said, because allegedly I've done a few things back in the day, and I've got beat on packages, and it's like, there's just like, that's why I said I respect your, you know, retaliation, you know, or you're not wanting to retaliate, because it's like, okay, what is it? Is this going to kill me to do this? Like, do I need to stand on principle to do this, or can I just keep hustling and just move on? And most of the time it was acceptable loss. Banks, you know, have a margin for loss. And on tax returns, there's a margin for loss. Business has loss. That's the price of the game. So you got beat on your first pack, and then what'd you do?
Well, I was at home, maybe feeling worse than I ever had, because now I blew my opportunity. But the guy who beat me, he came back by with $100 and was like, man, I want to get some more. Now, I told you already, I'm going to pay you Friday for what I already got. But now I need some more. So I had to call my boy, which was hard to do, and explain to him, look, that 50 I owe you, I ain't got that.
I need you to float.
I got somebody standing here right now with 100. Do you want that 100? And he said, yeah. And I just started off doing that. Every time he would come by, I would call my boy with the 100, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And next thing I know, you know, I'm making $300 a day for him, but I'm not getting anything out of it. And one of my boys get out of jail, and we come up with a plan to raise that 300 so we could get in the game.
300 to 900 to 18, and so on and so forth.
All the way, baby. Start off making 300 a week. Next thing you know, you're making 1,000 and 1,000 a day, then 5,000 a day, then 10,000 a day, then 20, then 100, then 200, 300. Next thing you know, you're making $1 million every day.
It's like the scene from Scarface. It's like what to
Compound.
do with all the cash.
Compound interest.
Exactly.
No, you take the cash and make it compound.
I mean, there's a bunch of things. I mean, I wanted to talk to you about that too, because there's I always had like, this is, I'm statute of limitations are probably way over, but
you get 7 years. 7 years.
All right, perfect, because then it's double that. Like
yeah, I studied the law.
Oh, I saw that, which I thought it was genius that you were able to find the loophole to get you out of prison, which is a fucking movie all in itself, just right there. That's amazing. But like,
well, what I always say. You know what my mom always say? Don't get your ass in nothing you can't get out of.
There you go. There you go. I can respect it completely. But we had a bunch of, because it was always small bills, so I would basically just go to the different stores that I would, go to on a regular basis, because I'd be out on the street hustling, relaxing, chilling, buying food. So I'd go to every single store instead of them going to the bank. I'd be giving them the singles, the fives, the tens, and just getting the large bills. I'm like, okay, this works out perfect for me. Because I'm not, Rick Ross or nothing like that.
Well, I had so many ones I couldn't trade them in.
Which is crazy.
I had one time about 300,000 in ones. And
what'd you end up doing with them?
Some got stolen. I traded 250 for a house.
Okay.
You just make deals. Like, I'll give you 10,000 ones if you give me 8,000 in cash.
Oh, I know that game. I mean, listen, it's that's the price of currency exchange. That's
exactly.
I mean, they document it in Scarface, where it's like, okay, now you got like 3 million in ones, you got 5 million in fives. It's like, so I'm gonna give you like 20% less to trade in all of these for larger bills. So when was it that you
we're gonna
realized
launder your money for you? We're gonna launder your money for you. That's what
exactly. Which
that's what they call it.
Yeah, we're not going to teach that on this show, because I just said that I'm an expert in finance. So all of a sudden, I have frogmen and Secret Service jumping through my windows, like we know you. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, we have it.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Exactly. I don't know saying. I know nothing. What I was going to say. So when did you realize that this was the life that you were kind of I don't want to say destined to live, because I feel like the life that you're living now is more along the lines of, I think, what has like your
fulfilling for sure. Fulfilling is the correct word for sure.
Right, I see. Because the passion, when you speak, if people aren't listening, there's something wrong with it, because like you speak from real pain, real experience. And that's why it's great to have you on, on my podcast. One, because it's going to do great for me, give me a whole bunch of street credit. I'm beneficial. I love that you reach people that ordinarily can't be reached. So I dig your passion when you are educating the youth, and speaking to them on some real shit. It's like, I'm the OG, I'm the big bro. Listen to what the fuck I'm saying, because I did it all. Everything that you want to do and see these rappers pretending about, that was my life, and this is not where it should go. So I respect it.
And if you don't get it, the Feds got a bid for that ass.
Exactly.
You think they crowded? Hey, you think they crowded?
No, those MCUs got room. Yeah,
they're gonna make a bid.
Exactly.
Hey, they're gonna fix a bunk for you. You might have to sleep on the floor for a couple days.
And what's their conviction rate? Like 97%?
98.
You know, like 98. And so, yeah, you don't want to deal with
and
that.
probably a 1% appeal rate. Probably 1% of the people who get convicted of win appeal.
Which is insane all in itself. The criminal justice system needs to be reformed. In such a major way. But all right, so we have like 5 podcast ideas that we're gonna talk about, because it's like it's too big of a broader subject. I don't want to dive into.
Well, I'm multifaceted, so you got movies. I'm working on my movie now. I got 3 books out. I self-published. I'm doing some music, boxing, trucking, cars. So I could talk about a whole lot of subjects.
You a hustler, baby.
Serial. Serial hustler.
Yeah, you gotta, HUSTLE, a hustler. New Jack.
My man said you gotta have a car in the land of milk and honey.
I respect it. I mean, I have this quote that I use, which is perfect for a Hallmark card, which is perfect for a time right now, where I say, so when it comes to life, we're all just here for a small cup of coffee. I'm just trying to drink it while it's still hot. So I'm just trying to live life, for all the fruitfulness that it has, and make sure I do the right thing. I mean, I've done a lot of fucked up things in my past. So now it's time for me to, I don't want to say repent, because I've done, what I've done, and I've come to terms with it. Now it's time to, elevate, myself to the level that I know that I can reach. So, so back to your story. So when did you realize that, like, you were going to be the next ruler of LA?
The day that he showed cocaine to me, and I said that he's telling the truth about it, that was the destiny. Almost immediately.
Now, when you were, I mean, and if anything, like, you're not allowed to talk about, just this JopauL.
I could talk about whatever I want to. I don't work for nobody.
That's awesome. Amazing. Yeah, I just don't know if there's still any open cases or anything like that. So,
nope. I've been out 11 years.
Oh, that's what's up.
Statute of limitation. I did a total of 20 years on 2 bits. So,
which is insane. It's
that's
like
a long time. All that stuff has been forgiven. Now if it was a murder or arson, there's no statute of limitations on those joints.
Right. Yeah, so don't talk about anything like that here.
Leave your murders and all that out. So when your guests come on and they start talking about murders, you be like, hey, hold up, don't do it.
Edit, dump.
Guys tell me about Vlad TV. They say, man, Vlad is the police. I said, why you say that? He said, because he be asking those guys questions that incriminate him. And I said, and they answer them?
Some of them do. I mean, I've watched some of them feel like they got free reign to do that, which is, is self-imposed.
Oh, we just on the interview. Hey, we just on the interview. No, that shit can be used against you.
Yeah, just like songs should be used against you. Like everything can be like 98% conviction. If they want to stick you with something, they're gonna stick.
None of it can be used for you, but it all can be used against you.
Oh, ain't that the truth? You want to get that street credit? Yeah, they're gonna put you in prison. You're gonna get that street credit, all right? You ain't gonna see the light of day, but
you'll be the man in the jail though.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect to the people that are the men in jail, but that's just, I'd rather be the man out of jail, and this way I get to hug my family, and see my loved ones grow up and all that. Use
the telephone.
Exactly, without having to, fight like a gang of like Bloods or Crips because they own the phones. I'm not trying to do that, So it's like, all right.
You've been in jail before?
I've been locked up. I have not been to actual jail, but I have plenty of friends that have been incarcerated. And
so you know about the telephones, huh?
A little bit, just a little bit. I mean, sometimes, listen, if a Latin King owns it, sometimes you're not going to be able to use the phone. If there's a Blood or a Crip that owns the phones, on certain days, you're going to have to pay to use it. or you're not calling your wife. You might have to write a letter. But you got nietas and la familia that
you got options. Hey, you got options.
So you're gonna have to pay for the stamp, and guarantee you're getting charged 100 times more than whatever that stamp cost at the time. So
never take nothing on credit.
Exactly.
Especially if you don't know how much it costs.
And what the value of it is if you actually lose it.
When Bubba come up to you and offer you a candy bar, make sure you know how much it is, because when he comes back, he's gonna ask for that same candy bar, not one that looks like it, but that exact same one.
Yeah, we don't want to deal with candy bars. I'm good. I can't eat chocolate. It doesn't agree.
I'm allergic to chocolate.
Yeah, no candy bars. No candy bars over here.
Oh, so you funny.
I like to keep this interesting and possible. Jack Daniels plays a very, very big role in my comedy. So, but I've been a rapper for 25 years. So I'm quick witty on my feet with the bars, with the comebacks, with and plus I've experienced so much. So I say it a lot on my podcast that I get to tell my story while learning yours. So it's more of like a chill hangout session. So this way you can let your guard down, tell me all the real juicy shit. Be like, yo, had this fucking orgy back in '76. Be like, you have no idea. It was, that's how the good shit comes out. So, I like to, it's like I'm slowly getting your guard down. So this way you can let loose, what I'm saying? We could just kick it. Do something strange for a little bit of change, have some nerve for the curb. That's my word.
No doubt, no doubt.
So back to your story. So how'd you get involved with the U.S. government? I mean, even though I know it was kind of indirect, it's like, how did they know to come to you, or is it really just the supplier, the guy Blandone, that was basically?
I think money and cocaine found each other.
Yeah, they seem to do that a lot.
Yeah, the people with the money usually know where the cocaine is, and the cocaine usually know who has the money.
Now, when you were getting all of this cocaine, were you busting it down, or were you selling it as raw?
Both.
Okay, so the people you didn't like got the cut. Gotcha.
Sometimes the ones you like too.
I mean,
you don't want to give it to them too raw; they might hurt themselves.
Okay, so you're a humanitarian. You care. Okay.
Yeah, you got to care about them. Like, look, don't give it to them so raw. They don't know what they're doing. They're just gonna take it. They're just gonna take it. They're not gonna cut it.
I feel. I mean, you'd be. It's common knowledge that everything that comes through New York, the second that it comes off the plane, it's getting chopped, black box, stepped on, repackaged, with maybe a 50 to 60% dilution on it. So it's yeah, but
trash.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. This. It's not like I'm in that drug world where I know. It's just I remember seeing a special on it. With they got the mask on and they're just going.
But nobody ever said that you actually knew though. We never thought that you actually knew that you was in the trap house cooking up or cutting up and passing it out. We didn't think that.
I have no idea what he's talking about. I smoke weed and drink my Jack.
When they gonna legalize weed in New York?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Come on, Cuomo.
I love Cuomo.
I do too. I think Cuomo is the greatest. I was hoping he'd have ran for president.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually glad that he didn't, because he stuck by his word. And he said, this is not a political advancement for me. This is, I want to help New York. What I think actually saved New York from the crazy infection rate when this first started was that he gave us the real deal facts every single day. He got on there and he said, this has nothing to do with politics. Here's the facts. Here's the rate of infection. Here's the total positive. Here's the number of tests we did. And he gave it to us exactly how it was supposed to be without any of the political shit. When Donald Trump was acting a fool and saying, and not trying to help us, he would call it out. When he was helping us, he would give him his respect and say, you know, thank you for helping us. I appreciate it. You know, but without, while we're on the subject, without the funding for state and local municipalities, the states don't stand a chance, you know, at rebounding unless a stimulus package is presented. Like, those are the first line workers. That's the, you know, to renovate the school systems, to create the ventilation systems that are needed. That's for, you know, the hospitals, for the cold storage facilities that are needed to store the vaccine. It's like, without that federal assistance, this is a losing battle. So yeah, I wish there was somebody that, you know, was like moving mountains of cocaine that could fund this type of stimulus and be like, listen,
oh, they
America,
are. Yeah, American, they doing it.
Shit, why do you think they fucking wanted to rush the country open so much?
They couldn't take it. They couldn't take it. We need our fix.
Yeah, I bet they were. I bet exactly. Kind of. America they needed their fix. They were itching for it. They were like, we need that, baby, which is you know, is crazy, which, you know, brings me into, like, you know, the different, you know, levels of your story when it comes to, you know, coming up and then your rise as well as your downfall. It's like, when would you consider your lowest point? You know, I mean, I don't mean to get like so deep, but, you know, it has precedence of what we
getting a life sentence in prison and seeing my mom break down in court as if she just lost her son. Damn.
It's always tough seeing mama cry when we know we fucked up. Like, we know we fucked up, and it's like, now we got to ride it out. It's like, I know I'm gonna, you know, get the switch or get punishment, and now I got to really deal with it. And just looking at them dealing with that, I could only.
Well, why she got to deal with it?
I mean, she knows that her son, you know, like, could have made a different decision, and now he has to live with it. So I think as a mother, they always experience that pain with their son, you know, or
no doubt. Daughter. No doubt, but
So,
you drag them along with you. You know, when you're doing it, they are all of those lives are affected by the decisions that we make. So it was rough seeing that. You know, walking back into the holding cell and remembering her just ecstatic. You know, it was like as if her son had just been shot in front of her or something.
And that's kind of like the last vision that you kind of have of her until the next time she comes and visits. Obviously, it's like, so those first couple of nights must have been rough. Did you ever feel like you couldn't do it, or you couldn't handle the time, like Brooks and Shawshank?
Well, I didn't ever think I was going to do life. I was going to escape.
Okay, all right, that's what's up. I mean, that's great. Listen, I love Shawshank.
That was an option. That was another option.
Okay.
Escaping was another option.
Did you have the plan of what you were going to do, or?
I was hanging out with the guys that was making plans. I would go around them.
This is a movie right here.
I would go around them, listen to the stories and listen to the ideas, and then I would go and look at what they were saying. Oh, that don't look like too good of an idea. I don't think he's gonna get past that gun tower right there.
It's like, oh shit, yeah, oh, the gun tower. Fuck, forgot about that. It's like, sorry.
Yeah, so I always figured that I would figure a way out.
Okay. And so you were prepared to do this after you said, okay, I'm not gonna escape. I'm prepared to do this time. Never at one point were you like,
no,
you know what?
No, never did I say I was gonna do the time.
Okay. Now, talk to me about how you started to learn to read and write. Because a man of your stature in prison, how do you go about asking one of the homies to help? Or
well, my cellie, you know, when you're selling with somebody and you're in the cell like 23 hours a day, you guys are locked up together, you get to be pretty tight. You know, you know them and they know you. I mean, people would be surprised how well you get to know somebody when you're in a 6 foot cell, maybe by 12. two grown men. So you really get to know each other really well. And I just told my cellie that I couldn't read. And next thing I know, he made me some cue cards with my ABCs, and he started teaching me how to sound them out. And a couple of weeks I was reading the newspapers, and it just went on from there.
That's a fucking hell of a story. That's great. So, I mean, you were able to, take a situation like that, and I'm assuming, if he was locked up with you, he was, a hardcore criminal. I mean, I'm not gonna, judge him based on his actions, especially because prison's supposed to, reform you. And plus, I don't want him to fucking write the ABCs and a knife, on me. So, but that was great that, like two criminals can, kind of, sorry to call you criminal, my apologies, but can come together to actually make a positive, and
it's okay. Just don't call me late when they got my check.
Gotcha. Yeah, I will never call you late. I'll make sure the check is there early.
Exactly.
And not in cash, and no ones. We are not dealing with ones. We don't like George Washington's. Ben Franks are better. Preferably the one. Preferably the one that we get deposited in the bank without, a CTR report.
Yeah. So it went from there to reading the newspapers and reading the law books.
Okay. And so, reading the law books, did you ever want to actually try to go to law school or try to actually become?
No, I hate law.
Okay, but you're so good at it. You're able to get yourself.
I hate the what is the correct word I'm looking for? The inconsistency.
Okay.
Because really, the law is one person's opinion.
Right. It's perception.
Based on another person's opinion or perception. What they think that the book said to them.
Right. They put it in whatever context suits their needs,
Correct.
Basically provides them an out or an easy way out. It's like, I mean, we're an entire civilization of free thinkers, and the fact that a law.
Well, we should be. I don't know if we are a nation of free thinkers, but we should be.
Some of us are. 80 million are not. But the ones that voted for Biden, we certainly are. I give us a pass as free thinkers. But when it comes to the perception of how the law is interpreted, and it leaves any room for the own personal. Who's ever making a decision on that to weigh in based on their morals or their conscience or however it's going to suit their needs. Similar to how the Supreme Court just, ruled 5-4 in favor of religious gatherings are considered essential work. So basically it bypasses like
and they just ruled a couple months back that it wasn't.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't understand. This is beyond the realm of common sense. They've taken it. God, can't see. It's total misdirection. So, anyways, so when did you realize that you were going to actually be able to get out?
Probably about 4 years after I was in, I found this case. And it's talked about a continuous criminal spree was different from a career criminal. And it explained to me what a career criminal was. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm not a career criminal. I was on a criminal spree. A criminal spree is, I don't have to explain that to you. I know you probably already know. You went to college.
I only went to like 1 year of college. But when I got my big break for music, I dropped out. I thought I was going to be the next, Eminem or the next big thing, which, I mean, I did have a bunch of success, and we could talk offline about that because it's more about your story than anything. And plus it's getting good right now. But
a continuous criminal spree is when somebody is continuously committing crime and it has never been interrupted. And what they consider an interruption is an arrest, where the police catch you doing it and they arrest you and you go to court and they spank you and you get back out. Now that's an interruption.
Okay.
That can be considered a strike.
And that falls on the realm of the continuous spree
criminal
or
spree.
The criminal spree?
Well, that goes the other way. That goes toward the career criminal.
Career criminal. Okay.
So if you get 2 more of those with intervening arrests, then you are a career criminal and you can receive a life sentence. But if you're committing crime all over the country, but they never catch you, they only indict you. And then when they catch you, when they finally catch up with you, they pass all these indictments. Oh, you got to go to court here, you got to go to court there, and you go to court and you start getting convicted. They can't pile those convictions on as separate arrests. And that's how I was able to get my life sentence overturned.
That's amazing. That's fucking beautiful.
And when I saw those words, that's when I knew that I would be getting out.
And what'd you feel
unless
like?
They totally ignored their law books.
I mean, listen, you struck a compelling argument. I'm sure that you and your attorney went in there, guns blazing with the facts, left kind of,
Absolutely.
And you guys utilized the interpretation.
Well, you know what I said, a guy can't become a career criminal in one day. You're not a career criminal in one day. So literally a guy could get 3 convictions in one day though. You could get on a plane and fly to LA. No, get on a plane, fly to New York, sell a kilo of cocaine. Get on another plane, fly to Cincinnati, Ohio, sell another kilo of cocaine to another informant. You already sold one in New York to an informant. You get to Cincinnati, you sell another one to another informant. Then you get to LA and you sell another one to another informant. Those would be considered separate arrests, but it's still part of one mindset, one continuous mindset where your mindset is to sell cocaine.
Got it. Hey, listen, however you were able to use the law, and now that you're here on the Verified Podcast, I salute your law abilities. So you use the law, to your advantage. Like they tried to use it against you. Because, I know that you were, in the day and age, so were you locked up during the LA riots or were you out?
I was.
Okay, but you knew what the mood was like over there. So you've been dealing with the opposite side of the law, from Jump Street, and especially when they found you hiding in the closet and you were already in handcuffs, you got the shit beaten out of you and
the dog bit me.
And the dog bit the fuck out of you like a fucking, oh my God, that happened today?
If I would have had a camera.
Shit, we didn't. All we had was disposables and Polaroids back then. Shit, remember those yellow and green joints that you would drop off at Save On or CVS, and they'd have to develop them. These kids nowadays, they're fucking phones. Everything is on video now. It's like you couldn't be a criminal nowadays. You'd have to be, you'd have to move like Osama bin Laden used to move. No phone, no tracker, no nothing.
On camels.
Yeah. Walk around in a disguise all day long. So, but that's a whole nother, it's it doesn't even pay to be a criminal nowadays. That's why, I have a great podcast. So this keeps me busy, and it keeps me.
And that's why I sell weed.
There you go. And he can legally say that. It's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And I love weed too. So, as soon as weed is legal and you're allowed to send me some. Or when this COVID is over, I'll come out there, I'll sample everything for you and I'll tell you the real deal.
Oh, we need that.
Well, listen, I would love to be getting paid to be a sampler of weed. I do this shit anyway. I always have then
you're gonna be taking Echo's job. That's what he does.
What a great
he's
dude.
A sampler. He's a sampler. He's a sampler.
Well, he's a genius and he's a very, very hard worker. And I appreciate his hustle. And he does a really, really good job for you. So, salute Echo. I appreciate your assistance in helping.
He does a better job sampling weed.
If he does a good job.
Samples weed better than he does anything. Huh?
That's an amazing job. An amazing ability. Like I can't wait for
man,
that.
I get paid to do this. I always paid for it. Now I get paid to do it. I'm like, ooh wee, how times have changed.
Yep, how the game is just fucking flipped down and reversed, you know. But so let's talk about the weed company, you know, because I mean, it's a great segue right into it. We'll get back to your life story. I mean, I know I've taken up a lot of your time already, so I'm not trying to, not trying.
And my battery might not make it.
Okay, so whenever you got to go, give me at least like 2 minutes beforehand so I can do my little closing thing before it's just like.
Let me show you something. Let me show you my marijuana brand.
Let's go. Folks, if you see me at home, I know I look fucking ridiculous right now because I'm wrecked. I'm having a blast. I was just apologizing to my audience if I
Stuff stinks.
Let me see.
Smell like money.
I can smell it through the bag, baby.
Can you smell it?
Yes. Wow.
Can you smell it?
I can smell it. I can smell it. The Scarface bagging is genius. Genius right there. Oh shit, Burner's gonna be pissed. He's gonna give Cookies a run for his money.
Hey,
just kidding, Burner, I love you.
Hey, I'm after him. They better come on with it.
I mean, the great thing about that space is that there's room for plenty of people to
everybody.
Like it's brand new. I mean, the only thing I wish is that the government kind of would allow the banks, in on it, because there's a lot of revenue that the bank can earn from a legitimate business now, like it, rather than you having to redirect your funds or purchase the real estate in which your farm is located, so that you could just own that real estate. And it's like you have a commingling agreement with those businesses that's on file that you just overpay rent, which pays the mortgage. There's a lot of things that can be done, but it would be so much easier without having to redirect your funds.
Well, if it's legal,
Exactly.
if it's legal, make it all the way legal. Don't make me launder money.
Exactly. The problem is
now that's illegal.
Here's the problem. There's no way to decipher those funds from illegitimate funds, which the game has a way of doing through fake documentation, fake, enterprises, LLC corps where, that own an LLC corp that own an LLP. So it's a crazy game of business, structuring. But until the bank figures out a way to say that's a legitimate business and that cash that he's depositing is legitimate monies, or allow them merchant services so they can actually have their money digital and it can be batched over to the bank like a normal fucking business. If it's legal and a doctor prescribes a prescription for it, open the goddamn banks up.
Yeah, well, they treat the cannabis business a lot different than other businesses on all levels, and hopefully one day they will accept it as just a business, nothing else. Not that it's the marijuana business; it's just business.
I feel like higher up in the chain, I feel like there's some, and I'm not a conspiracy theory guy at all, but I feel like somewhere up on the chain, they're using the fact that it's not fully legal yet to use that in certain ongoing cases that they haven't been able to get their guys yet. So until, when it gets, completely legal and the banks actually allow those funds, I feel like it's going to open up the windows of opportunity for everything, because then you're treated like a real business. Then you could actually apply for your own financing from the bank. You could get your own installment loan, your cash equity injection, or infusion. You could get your line of credit that, you could finance your own receivables based on however long that particular crop takes to grow, from seed to packaging to store. So the banks need to open it up. There's a window of opportunity, and we're missing the.
Well, I think Biden and Harris is going to open it up. I'm pretty sure they will. So let's cross our fingers on that they come through for us.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So then you can smoke Freeway Rick Ross in New York.
I would love it. I would love it. So make sure that I get to try some of that shit soon. So as soon as COVID is over, I'm coming. I got to come out to Cali anyway. I got business with a bunch of people in that industry anyway. So I'm gonna be coming out there, and
let's do it.
So I'll make sure that, you know, if you're in town, that'd be great. You know, I mean, I know you're busy, you know, but I'll holler at Echo. I'll be like, listen, stop sampling.
We'll work it out. No, we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
So what's the biggest takeaway that you got from all of this that you've experienced? And there's so much, you know, to it. I encourage everyone to, you know, watch the documentary that's on Netflix. Make sure you get his book. Make sure you read it. There's an audio version available. So for all you motherfuckers that, you know, don't want to take the time to actually read, you can listen to it. So what's the biggest takeaway from all of this?
Well, you know, in the dope game, nobody really wins. You know, the dope is almost like this virus. You know, you can't really fight a substance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only way you can do away with it is by socially distancing yourself, staying away from it. So it's really, really closely related to what we're going through with this virus. And I think the biggest takeaway is that so many people wind up hurt from it. I mean, everybody does. You know, the people who use it, you know, they wind up broke on the street, homeless, and the people who sell it wind up in jail, broke and homeless.
That's real.
I would say that's the biggest takeaway. Also, we better do that 2 minutes because I don't know when this thing is gonna come out. It done flashed like 3 times.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we have been chopping it up with the Real Freeway Rick Ross. We do have to wrap it up, but we're going to definitely have him on again. This was an absolute blast. You know, I appreciate your time. You're a legend and OG in the game. There's so many things that I wanted to talk to you about. I could write your book right now. That's how much
we're going to do it again. We'll do it again in a few weeks.
I appreciate that. And whenever you need anything in terms of any advice for any business, I know that you're quite accomplished. You've ran a couple.
Well, I want to talk to you about the financial stuff. So let's make a point to get together on that and explore it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just happen to be in lockdown in a pandemic, and I have the time. So you let me know whenever it is. You know, my phone is always open to you. I do appreciate your time. So, in closing, you know, I always like to give like a little quote or like uplifting or moving, you know, thing that, you know, I say. And one of them that's been a repeat one is, you know, to regret any decision that you ever made in the past is to not fully appreciate who you are today. So I could see that the choices that you've made, although you might consider some of them might have been the wrong choices in the grand scheme of things, if you appreciate yourself and who you are today, in hindsight, those were the right choices. So, you know, that was the path that you were supposed to lead. And now you're on to bigger and greater things. So, Mr. Freeway Rick Ross, I appreciate your time. My name is JopauL. This has been the Verify Podcast, brought to you by Radio Pushers and Results No Hype, and also Major Papers, majorpapers.com. Make sure you check them out, and make sure you check out LA Kingpins. That's my man, Freeway Rick Ross. I think he's gone. Oh, no, he's back. He's back like he never left. But my brother, I salute you. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to chop it up. And
everybody can get me at Freeway Ricky on Instagram and Freeway Rick Ross on Facebook. And I got a new website that's coming out, and it's called Freeway Enterprise.
This guy is a fucking entrepreneur like you've never seen. Okay?
To the bone.
You better get this fucking knowledge crack that he's selling right now. All right, everyone, I appreciate your time. And we're going to talk real soon. My brother, I salute you.
Peace.